Hi, this is Vicki with Learning Home Volunteers, and welcome back to our learning session. We will work this week to help your little one do a bit of self examination about what they like and they don't like. In addition, we're going to build a family tree and hopefully be able to learn the words that describe their relationships to others in their family. We'll work on name recognition and their phone number and how to call 911. These skills are essential in being able to identify themselves if they get lost or they need help. Well, let's get started. Activity number 7, like and don't like. To find a common spot that we build friendships on, maybe with just a small thread of a shared interest. So we put together a list of questions that we might think would begin the conversations at home. We try to choose things that are not divisive and include things that may come from things in their world experience, um, but things that we maybe have all experienced. I'm sure that you'll be able to come up with many, many more questions that you can add to your list. And the nice thing about this game is you can play it while standing in line or in the car or, at the grocery store or the doctor's office. It's kind of really cool. So, it could be, do you like a color, or do you like an activity that you do, or something that you eat or drink, or something that they play with. All of those things work great. Our next activity number 8, is Who is my family? You'll find 2 sheets of drawings of people, and I would cut them out so that each of the little squares is a different person. And I did this for my family that lives in my house. So in my home right now, we have the following people: my husband and the father to my children, myself, of course, my younger daughter who's living with us, and our 2 cats. But you could use these cutout fingers to show who lives in your home, or you could use it to show your immediate family, or those that are even part of your family. Your choice. If you're going to do relationships, this is my daughter, but she's her sister to live someplace else, or this is father or mother. It's nice to be able to use the names of those relationships when you actually put the tree together. And then that way they'll learn what those people are called to each other. Well, this is activity number 9, really working on name recognition, and we have a number of different ways to play this. And in your box, you're going to find 2 sets of 10 pieces of equally sized cardboard. And I would start by writing the child's name on one of those sets. Now, I did mine in upper and lowercase. You could do it all in lowercase or all in uppercase. And then on the flip side of those, I put dots. 1 for the first letter of my name, and 2 for the second letter of my name, and so forth and so on. This is a way to actually make a number puzzle out of their name. You can kind of circulate them around, and then when they put the dots in the right order, if you're they'll and then turn them over, they'll have their name. You could also use it if the child understands print numbers. Replace the dots with the print numbers, and it works exactly the same. Um, like here, this is V was the first one, and then here are the rest of them that are become. So it actually reveals the name, which is kind of cool. But using the 2 sets, you can give the child an opportunity to write their name by using the other blank set by putting it directly underneath. And if you use pencil instead of pen or markers, they can erase the letters and practice over again and again and again. Our next activity is my phone number. This is activity number 10. In the case of emergency, it's really important for your child to know your full name and their phone number. And the easiest way for community helpers to find you if your child gets lost is by calling you. Now, you could practice this on a pretend phone until they get it right. If your child is not able to recognize print numbers, which is what is shown on the phone, then it's really too soon to try to help them be able to dial the phone and find somebody. But it is certainly not too soon for them to learn the number and be able to say it and your name. As your child gets older, maybe from around age 4, if there's an emergency and you're unable to talk, your child can call 911. Experts explain how to start this conversation, and just like you want your child to know where they live and what their parents' name, it is vital for them to know that before they call 911. In order to make a call on somebody's cell phone, they'll either have to know the code to open it or how to initiate an emergency call without the code, which most phones have a way to do this without logging in. But if they're not able to provide your address because that's too much for them to be able to remember, maybe it's not time to show them how to call 911. However, we just learned about a really cool app called Smart 911, which is if they call from your phone, for example, the app will share with the 911 center information about your family, including where you're located, important medical information, and emergency contacts. And if you're interested in using this free app and want help setting it up, let us know. We'd be happy to do that. The service is actually provided in a number of different languages, and you should know when people call 911, there are operators standing by that speak Spanish and many other different languages. Well, we thought the best way to end our time together for this learning session is to do just a little bit more art. So when your child tires of making their chalk designs on the road or on the parking lot or on the sidewalk, or the pieces become too small, you can make chalk paint. The first step is to put chalk of similar colors in a Ziploc bag like this. And then next, we want to actually crush it using their feet. Now they're only going to be able to get it down to a certain piece, so you may have to get it a little bit bigger. But I got mine this small. And I put the chalk pieces in a little plastic container and added a tiny bit of water and stirred it with a stick. And you can still see the chunks are there, right? But it's turned into paint, which is amazing. And when you use a brush and dip it in, you're ready for art. You can see it actually turns liquid and works just like paint on the sidewalk or on the driveway. And when it dries in a color not quite as vibrant as it went on wet. But nonetheless, it worked just like paint. When you get tired of looking at the creations in a couple weeks, the good news is it washes away with just water. Well, that's all for this session. I hope you enjoyed learning a little bit about your little one, and I know we'll be thrilled to see the results of your work, so don't forget to post on ClassTag. Until next session, you have a great week. Bye.